Good afternoon, you guys. It's your boy Bill Mahari here, represent Mahari Nation Sports Podcast. Salute the entire LDBC. We're going to talk a little bit about the Antonio Brown situation here. Not going to go on live for too long there. Just want to give my personal thoughts about it. But for those of you guys have already got the story, if you haven't gotten it yet, Antonio Brown eventually did turn himself in last night. And this afternoon today, he basically paid over $100,000 bond to get himself out of jail, but it doesn't mean that he's out of the woods just yet. Mr. Tiptoe, what's going on, man? How you doing? Um, Basically, right now he's got released. He paid off his bond, but now there's more to the bond that he's gonna have to agree to now. So the judge stepped in some big major regulations and stipulations after he paid his bond. He's going to have to wear a GPS monitor, undergo drug testing, relinquish his firearms plus his passport, and undergo a mental health evaluation. Which, thankfully, is a bit of a light touch to what he's going through. Now, also, I got the memo that he's also has a new representational group now. Now, since his other group decided to part ways with him, so now he's going to have to go through again the legal proceedings of it, and his lawyers teams also said that basically the charges his charges that he's been given were basically overcharges, and they're going to try to fight to try to reduce the level of the charges that he's being implicated on. Now, you know, the thing is that, hey, thank you, Mr. Tiptoe. I appreciate the support though, man. Much appreciated. So right now, um, right now, Antonio Brown is getting the what the help that he needs. I'm very very disappointed that it's gotten to this point because I kind of stood up for Antonio Brown, especially when it came to the the things that were going on in Oakland and in New England. But now it's getting to the point now where he doesn't know what he's doing at this point in his life. Because he's acting erratically. His behaviors is very unusual too, and is leading to the point where now he's being forced to get the help now. And thankfully, this has gone to that point. You know what I mean? And I'm hoping and praying that whatever comes out of it, though, he gets the help that he needs and gets his life back on track. Because right now, this is not about his football career. You can pretty much say that his football career is pretty much dead at this point. What now he has to worry about is getting his life together, getting his priorities straight, and more importantly, worried about his children and his family. Okay, because his children have been exposed to that kind of same erratic behavior that he's going through right now, and it's very very sad that now that his children are seeing all this erratic behavior that's been going on with him right now. And personally, you know you're worried about how his children will react to this when they get older, when they see what the stuff that his dad were doing at the time. So I'm very, very thankful that now he's going to get the help that he needs, and I do think that right now, I think somewhat that he probably will have to get served some prison time. A light sentence is probably too harsh, according to the report that you can read in the description box, that he's facing a possible light sentence for the battery charge for basically, trashing the truck driver's vehicle, plus pulling the truck driver out of the truck, and basically assaulting him. And then his friend, which is basically his personal trainer, went into the back of the truck and destroyed some property that did not belong to Antonio Brown. So right now, his friend and Antonio Brown are facing multiple burglary and felony assault charges. And so right now is really really looking bad for Antonio Brown. But I'm thankful that now that he's gonna at least try to get some help right now that he needs. And you never know what happens there, but I think that right now he just needs to focus on getting his priorities straight, and basically get the help that he needs to basically figure out what is going on with him. And I really stress this to the point about what happens to a lot of football players is when they play football for a long period of time, that players will have different types of behavior changes, sometimes their way of thinking is always alternated and changed due to the punishment that the football players take on an everyday basis, from practices, training camp, preseason, regular season, playoffs, from high school, college, you name it. but it doesn't excuse the behavior he's doing. I'm just clarifying the stuff that football players go through a lot, and Antonio Brown is no exception. You know what I mean? I think you got to go. I think you can reflect back to the hit that he took from Vontaze Burfict in the playoffs. That's kind of like the monster that was built that day. Because at that time, you didn't hear any of these stories coming out of Antonio Brown. But then after that, it kind of just built to the point now we're here at this point. And I'm hoping that now that Antonio Brown has hit rock bottom, that he's finally got to sit down in a jail cell and recognize that, well, how did I get here to this point? Living in a beautiful mansion, now living by 6x9 box under a steel toilet. Are you kidding me? You know what I mean? And so hopefully now that, Antonio Brown can at least get the help that he needs, but he's really going to have to fight for his life, because if the judge decides that the charges are going to stand, he's going to possibly face a life prison sentence. And that is really, really going to be the tragic tale for Antonio Brown if the charges kind of stand. Okay. So I'll keep an eye on the story as soon as more developments come into play here, but you can read the article that I've written down on the description box that have been sourced by both TMZ, ESPN, and Bleacher Report. So hopefully that we'll get some more news as the story, develops and as it continues to progress. But don't miss a basketball conversation at 9 p.m. Central Time. We got a laundry list of topics we're going to talk about too, including dissension within the Los Angeles Clippers. There's been some rumblings within the Clippers in the last few weeks. So we're going to discuss about it right here on this channel, though, too, and more. So I just want to give you guys a little news detail on Antonio Brown, though, too. I'll keep an eye on the story and give you more details as the story progresses. All right, you guys, see you on later on tonight.